Yes, but getting better.
Welcome to the Branded Film and Media Podcast on Decatur Town Square here in Decatur, Texas. At Branded Film and Media, we are building community and building brands. We're here with your hosts, Kason, Cooper, and Marie. Let's get into today's episode.
That was a great intro, Michael.
Yes,
Michael.
Introduction.
Our producer coming in strong.
Michael has stepped it up and has a lot more podcasts trying to get scheduled through in November in here. That's pretty cool. And then, I was just saying the intro, we got to have some video footage overlaying. So we're talking about how Clark could potentially fly a drone out of the studio over the square and all this kind of cool stuff. But I think that would be really
to circle around, show where we are in Decatur,
and then come right back in here.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah,
Cooper, you direct the drone. You know you would.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I would. I'd do it with the ones that are easy, let alone a FPV drone.
Yeah. Is it hard down here though, with so many obstacles and
power lines?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Christmas lights going across.
Yeah.
Getting the FAA approval and all the things, certificate, all that. So that drone people get it. Most people don't understand the challenge behind it all, but
a lot of it. But we can do something like that. I'd like to have a little video intro like that. We'll get Clark on it. Get him used to that FPV.
That'll be right
the
up
learning
his
curve.
Wheelhouse. He'll be so stoked to do something like that.
Yeah.
Man, it's been a while since we've done a podcast.
What number is this?
This is technically 11. We had a shoot that didn't ever go that was 11, but here we are.
Yeah.
This is 11. We got to get Carrie Bond back in here.
Mm-hmm.
And then also we have about 2 months sabbatical here and with these podcasts. So we're actually, it's in the calendar, no negotiations, it's happening. We're going to get back on schedule. It's if you've ever done podcasting or tried to do anything on a consistent basis, any type of deterioration of your path is, it's getting back on. So we're back on and we're ready to roll. And this is kind of what that podcast is going to be about, is just, hey, let's talk about what's going on and what we got going on in the future and the exciting things about branded film and media, because there is so much opportunity in this town to build brands and continue to do community, and we want to be in the forefront of that.
And it helps to hear that intro because when we're just out shooting videos and doing social media and getting busy, we forget why we're doing this sometimes, that it is about building community and building brands.
Well, you sent that text one day and it's like, we are doing something so special for our clients, and let's not forget that. And let's focus on that. And how do we use that as our platform to keep this momentum going? And I think it's being, like in our meetings this morning, we're just like, what do we got to do to be involved in everything possible in this community and document that and share what other people like our clients are doing in our community. Show the giving, show the interaction, show them at the soccer fields, whatever it is. There's a lot of our clients doing a lot of good things in our town. We have a good group of clients. I know we do.
So wonderful. And we need like some type of visual with all of our clients, all the video projects, just so other people can see it too. Because it's just one thing to talk about it, but when you just visually see it on a board or a text, you're like, wow, that's so many people. Yep. Oh yeah, and speaking of good things, Wise Choice Custom Meats, they are doing a Thanksgiving meal again.
Oh, yeah. Oh man,
last year's was so great. Yep.
You came up there and we delivered 500 meals all over town. Boyd, we're going to go to Chico this year.
Wow.
And so, you reminded me, like, our clients are so wonderful and they're doing so many things. And then the barn at Paradise, they want to serve a hot Christmas dinner at the barn and have volunteers serve the community. And it's just where families can show up. I think it's kind of
our job on that to get those people, get people aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
I mean, I had a conversation with the Greater Denton Wise Association of Realtors in a mixer last night. I was like, hey, what do we got to do to make sure people are seeing your stuff so that, they can get more people at an event, a give back, like what the barn in Paradise is trying to do, what, Wise Custom Choice is doing. Like, people need to hear that and be a part of that. And if they did that on their own, it's very difficult. I mean, if I know the value that we bring or what you bring in that algorithm to get that exposure. Mm-hmm. I really do believe that we could make a lot of people see that event. And because I've seen events, but I mean, I deal with the Chamber of Commerce. We put an event out there and we get 6 likes, and it's like, what is going on? You know,
Right.
There's just so many things on the back end you got to work.
Right. And it's just nothing. It's such a great feeling to have a hot meal and just show up on someone's doorstep and just say, Happy Thanksgiving. And we didn't say who we were with or anything.
What do the people say? They're just so thankful.
They were just, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Or a couple of them said, I just ate, I don't need it, but right next door, go here. Or they would tell us.
So how do y'all do you have a list of people that are, eligible, or how do you know which doorstep to go to
get a list? We just went to parts in town that everyone wants to forget about, or some people don't even know exist.
Right.
And so you can just tell in that part of town, some people struggle, and it's so much easier for people to take something if you just show up and say, here you go.
Instead of trying to schedule it out or something.
Yeah, because there's so many people who are prideful. If you say sign up or show up, some do, but there's some that like, well, I don't need that.
I mean, what if for like a local community church in that area could say, hey, this person's been on our prayer list for a while. We know this person could use that. Maybe we can.
It could even be like drop-off points where, because they were taking 20 to 30 of these meals out at a time. And so maybe a church could be just like a drop-off point, and the church could help, kind of delegate that out or manage that a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, because we were even talking, we need a point in Boyd and Bridgeport and Chico and Decatur. That's where we were going to try to focus. And so, yeah, that's a good idea.
Wow. It's a really good give back.
And then Josh was like, let's do 1,000 meals. Oh my gosh.
That is so cool.
But yeah, it's so good. It's so good. But I'm glad we're back together. I'm glad we're on the podcast, get the schedule going. People have missed it.
Oh, yeah.
And it is, we've talked about it so many times. This is the newest way to market. This
Absolutely.
is marketing.
Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of fun because people, unless you tell them, you don't really know. And if you don't post what we're doing or what's going on in our community, people they do not know. And this is a platform that we can utilize to explain what's going on in the community, like the parade or something. We got that parade coming up. Michael Eaton, our studio manager, taking a pretty big role in setting that up. And it's going to be the idea behind the Decatur Chamber of Commerce Parade of Lights is what it's called this year. Everybody knows it. If you've seen how big it can really be, we've had 100+ floats. We've had it wrap around the entire, Walnut and Main, and we're like basically tied back in, and they had to wait. It's been so big. It's a huge event, and we're going to do a big event production. We're going to make this a live broadcasted thing that looks like the Thanksgiving Day parade style. The chamber's all on board. Misty and Shelby are pumped up. Michael has a lot of work to do to make it look this way that we're thinking, but our goal is to have it a live broadcast, and we have announcements. Marie, you wanted people to hear the say we're talking about, now here comes this, here comes the United Wave float or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Look at that kid waving. You want people around the square to hear that. Yes. So that takes, quality sound in all 4 corners and things of that nature. We're just trying to ramp it up, make it a bigger production. Yeah. And Branded Film and Media is going to be behind that. And that's kind of what we have the capability with Michael to do. He has that broadcasting, and mostly through like churches and, figuring out how to broadcast throughout church, broadcast live, broadcast nationwide, or whatever it may be. Mm-hmm.
But you brought it up earlier. Your microphone at the chamber auction made such a difference. It kept it going. It kept it exciting. It kept everyone like involved and engaged. And, otherwise there would just be random music, or sometimes it was just pure silence, which is kind of awkward. But if we have Christmas music playing when we're not talking, or it's just going to add another element to the production of the parade.
And I've always thought about this. People are donating their time and effort to be entered into that parade. And then the ultimate goal, is to be a part of it, like family tradition or whatever it is. But, you think about these companies that, sponsor big events like Wise Honda, like Chris Fernahue, he paid the largest amount to the Decatur Chamber of Commerce to be the title sponsor. Well, if we're sitting there and here comes why is Honda, first look at the big old, we were talking about it. That's more engaging. That's kind of a fun thing. And so I want that for the chamber, and I want these businesses and these community members to get credit where credit is due. It's fun to be a part of that. Why can't we give them a shout out? And this is another bigger, more exposed way to give them a shout out. And I'm pretty, I learned this from Carrie Williams through the chamber. If you didn't notice that, and somebody purchased an item at the live auction, I made sure I went and figured out who it was and said, hey, thank you for your purchase, or thank you for your donation. Carrie Williams taught me that's very important with the Chamber of Commerce, because that's a lot of money given away to promote their business. And if we don't say thank you or say a shout out, in my opinion, it's a tree that fell in the woods. Did it actually, if it didn't make a noise,
because otherwise the auctioneer was like, blah, 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 8, 9,
on to the next one.
On to the next one. And everyone would just kind of turn around. Well, who won?
Yeah.
Who won? But with your MC abilities, you're like, Will Carpenter, good job. Thank you so much.
Bought those dice. My goodness. I can't wait to see those.
Those dice, man. And
Jeremiah
just getting those in the door. That was a crazy feat right there.
Yes. Well, Jeremiah could have showed up maybe 2 hours earlier, but he was working on it until the day or the minute.
It was all night long
that's
working
so
on
funny.
those. And oh my gosh, when you had the bow and arrow up in the air, and we'll cut to a photo, and your hair was long, and there was the dice in the background, I was laughing, I was crying.
She pulled me aside. She goes, "You and that gun and that bow and arrow holding it up was like the funniest thing."
It was so funny.
The hippie disco wig, with the bow and arrow, and the dice in the back,
the gun in the air.
Oh my
gosh,
gosh.
I was laughing at her.
Yeah,
she pointed it out, and I thought that was hilarious, but I just kept laughing at her because she was just crying. She was laughing so hard. And the picture came out pretty great too.
It really did. I mean,
and you definitely had to post that one, didn't you?
Yes, first thing I was like, "Congratulations!" Like that was a hit.
The Chamber Live Auction this year was an outstanding event that the Decatur Chamber of Commerce put on, and I was lucky to be a part of it. As the president, and that was, I didn't get to have it last year. It was more of like an online, and I don't live for that event, but what I'm saying is, as a president of the Chamber of Commerce, that is the highlight of the events, because it's the biggest one and it's the most fun, and there's a lot of people having a good time, and we had a great time. So, all this back to say is giving credit where credit is due, and we're trying to find out how these people in the parade, how we can give them a shout out and make it on that bride loft. And I see us like dressed in like maybe like a suit or something, like an anchor on, with Good Morning America, whoever all those people are.
Right.
But at the Thanksgiving Day parade, I would be really, really cool.
We should have Emma style us.
Yeah.
Because I at first, as soon as I found out, I said, I'm getting a new coat. Oh my gosh. I want a hat and
I didn't think about it, like a big furry coat and all that stuff.
It's been really cold in the past, and we're going to be sitting there for, maybe 2 hours. So we need to make sure that we're warm, but man,
So just to be clear again, it's the Decatur Chamber of Commerce Parade of Lights. And I know I have the date. I'm going to look at my
December
phone.
4th.
Yep, December 4th.
Yes.
And that is going to, and so we're going to have a production. Hopefully we have a stage on a trailer or whatever it is. So we're elevated, kind of all lit up, make it look like we're, Shelby Carpenter was talking about, have a layer of poinsettias around us. And, and then I was like, Michael, can you make it look like it's snowing on the live feed? Just so many ideas I think will be really, really cool. And, we want to make sure we get as many people that can't be there for whatever reason, or they missed it. They can still, we'll have all the cameras rolling, and this isn't just a Facebook Live on a iPhone. This is straight up using production style cameras to zoom in on the things on the floats to get. It's going to be cool. It's going to be fun.
In the past, Cooper was the only one that captured what it was like to be at a Christmas parade.
That was the first ever time it was ever captured, I think.
Yes.
Besides cell phone video.
A Hallmark moment. It's so beautiful.
Can you find that video and post it on this post, Michael?
Yeah, we've got it somewhere.
I think it's on a Facebook post for sure.
It's I think I shared it with the chamber a couple of years back too as well. So it's somewhere. We got it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, but to have another production, because even though we'll be live, then it'll be published and it'll always be on there.
Yep.
So people who were in the parade can go back and watch the parade, because that's, we have hundreds of people in the parade, but they never get to see it.
They never saw all the, it'll be fun. It'll be really cool. And then we'll have a Santa's Village kind of stuff like for kids that can come and play in the snow globe or snow area and all this. It's going to be cool. So can't wait for that. That's December 4th, going to be a big event. And then the tree lighting that the chamber does is on a Tuesday night of that, right before that event. So what is that? Whatever the date that is. I'll look that up. But anyways,
I think it's November 30th.
November 30th is the tree lighting, which would be perfect. And we do the big countdown, and we're expecting a big turnout on that. Encouragement to all the shops on the square to stay open later, because spread the word. You know, I think you're going to have a lot of people wanting to come in. Just stand outside and, you know, offer them, you know, a warm spot to stand or whatever you want to do, you know.
Well, and we talked to Shelby about the parade, but we really want to encourage people for this to be Moonlight Madness. Because before, you know, maybe, 10, 15 years ago, the square would stay open.
Mm-hmm.
The stores would stay open until midnight, and people would just walk around and shop and drink and have fun. So we're really hoping to draw a huge crowd down here for the parade, but then to also keep it going. So everyone goes into the stores and stays in the stores. And
so if you're a store owner on the square, you know, encouragement to you to stay open late and, you know, have the opportunity to get more business. I mean, that's what the chamber's all about. That's what Brandon's all about, is to spread your business and get awareness. And if you're not open and they're not going to see it. So,
I mean, and this is potentially going to be the biggest one ever.
Oh,
it
right.
will be.
It probably will be the biggest Christmas parade the Decatur's ever seen.
Yeah, so the crowds will be down here.
Yeah.
So if
it's 10 to 15 people deep.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Like
on the square.
I'm glad Michael is meeting with Shelby, because I'm like, how tall will this stage need to be?
That's so true.
Because there's just so many people there. It's, you know, we're gonna have to be up high to be able to see.
If anybody's watching this and has an idea of a good stage setup, I mean, we can always hire a stage at the chamber, but, you know, is there something out there that's elevated a little bit more, like on a flatbed trailer? Well, I mean, need some good ideas to put this together. So, well, you're meeting today, Michael, to talk to the chamber and try to get that all scheduled. But I don't know. We're talking a lot about it, but I think it's going to be really cool.
It's going to be cool.
So fun. So fun. Oh, Cooper, you want to update us on the documentary without giving away too many?
Yeah. No, the documentary's coming along.
Which documentary, Cooper?
This is the Wise County Old Settlers Reunion documentary that we shot back in July. A lot of prep work to show, you know, what the grounds look like before the carnival moves in and people decorate their cabins and all that, and just the story and why it's such a unique thing that happens here in Wise County. We were approached to tell that story, and we accepted it because we're all passionate about that. And we've, you know, Casey and I grew up out there. Marie, you've been a part of it for over 20 years. So it was all very, you know, it's a project that we were all super passionate about. And now we've moved into post-production, been working on it for a few months now. You know, it's just there's so much footage. There's so much great content. There's so many stories of people that have been out there for generations. So it's a lot of work, a lot of interviews to sift through, a lot of B-roll, and we had a great time. Lots of laughing, lots of crying.
Like,
I mean, history.
Think about, the people that we recorded, we've already lost some.
Yes.
You know, so how meaningful it's even going to be, even more so for those families to see, you know, their family members on camera and just treasure those moments. Because I cried at least once a day. We would just interview someone, and I'm back there behind the camera going, "Oh my God."
Yeah,
it's so sweet.
Yeah, it was sweet. It was special. And now, you know, because of some of the loved ones that we have lost, it's going to be even more special. Mm-hmm. So, you know, we're working on that diligently, trying to get it all, you know, just tell the best story that we can. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I think that, I don't know, we played around with ideas about when to release this thing. So maybe it might be something to get people hyped up for next year's reunion, or, you know, but that's our goal. Is to have it. And this is a feature length. This is a feature length documentary film.
Which is how long?
Which is at least an hour long, you know.
Yeah, so. I envision renting out the theater and showing it like on all 3 screens, having a premiere with like a red carpet.
Tell me that everybody would come to that.
They would love it.
Yeah.
I mean, and what a great way to debut.
Right.
You know, so everyone can come see it and watch it together.
I've talked with the theater. I've talked with the Creswells, and you know, like they seem on board with doing something like that for the community. So I think that is definitely in the works.
Cooper, how much
I'm excited about.
Gigabytes does it take, or terabytes, I guess, at that point, to export from an hour long of that was all filmed in 4K?
Yep.
4K 60 or just 30?
A lot of it was 4K 60 because we wanted to get good, moments that we had if we had to do slow motion.
Yes.
So we shot in 4K 60s. That's 60 frames per second. So the amount of information or data that's coming in through that camera and exporting through to these computers and our editing software, it just takes so much time and so much power. So much power that Clark's computer fried. So that was a little bump along the way, but it's just tons of information because it's going to be super high quality. It's going to be it was shot in 4K 60 and some of it was 24 frames for more cinematic looks with interviews and things like that. But quite the undertaking, a whole lot of footage, a whole lot of data. Biggest project that Brandon has ever taken on. But we were up for the challenge, and it was just the next step for the video team and the film team to step into, and it was something that we all loved, and we had a great time doing it, and so now we're buckled in, and we got to get the real work done and deliver a great product.
And we're gonna let people know if anyone felt like they didn't get a chance to give an interview and would like to. That opportunity is still open.
That's it.
Like we could go out there and still film it either at your home or out at the grounds.
Absolutely.
Because we only had 1 week and we worked 18 hours a day. We could only get so much during that week.
Mm-hmm.
So, we just want anyone.
They're setting up the reunion grounds for the lights. The lights. So you drive through and all the Christmas lights. It's already, they started the week after reunion was over.
Oh, wow.
They were already hanging Christmas lights on cabins.
Wow.
That's really cool. And I think last year was the first year that they did that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I thought that was a pretty good success. Like we went through it and loved it. And I think it's just going to continue to grow. And so I don't know, maybe we'll get out there and do some drone fly-throughs through the lights and all that. That'll be fun.
Yeah. And to utilize that space instead of it just like laying dormant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
All year.
So,
all right.
But yeah, so to build on Marie's, we are going to be reaching out for more interviews. If you feel like you missed out, or if we missed you, or we got too busy, we're also going to be making posts for those of you that were on, as an interview. But we need some old family photos of reunion, some history, anything you want to share about your past experiences, or even it's just this past year at reunion. But I'll go ahead and say here, for those of you listening right now on the podcast, there will be posts coming for that. But if you want to go ahead and start sharing stuff with us, if you hear it on this podcast and you want your family's, memories to be shared on the documentary, feel free to drop it in the comments or in Messenger, or, tell us that you're interested, and then I'll give you my email address and we can go from there.
Awesome.
I like that. Send over whatever you think would help us tell the story.
And you did get Kason and Curtis sweating over those fish fryers.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
It was so hot. Like I walked over there and just started sweating because the air was.
Didn't
just
it rain
so
right before,
still.
and then it just became humid and no wind?
Sticky. Yeah.
It was
I heard Jared.
so sticky.
Jared this year was telling me, he goes, "I feel like you can take an ice cream scoop and just scoop the humidity out of the air." It was so humid.
Oh my gosh! And just there was like no wind that night.
No.
It was just I walked down there, and as soon as got in that little alleyway,
our cabin area has no wind coming through there.
No,
so that's funny.
You win. You win for the hottest area.
The cool thing about that though is how often do we get rain during reunion week? It does it.
You might get one.
Yeah. And so to have the cameras out there rolling this year, catching kids that are there with families that stay out there all week.
Were they splashing?
They were playing in the rain, and so we got some of that.
Slow motion
kids playing in the rain. So it was a special year to get out there with the cameras for so many reasons, having missed last year and everything. So we're really excited about this documentary moving forward with it, and
I've loved being out there at night.
Yes.
It just. Because of the rain and the weather was so good, even it just felt so good at night. And then we had to stay up and have an all-nighter. So we had to go to the golf tournament the morning.
Saturday night all-nighter.
And it was
Sunday
already
morning.
like 4 a.m. We're like, we can't go to bed, guys.
Nope.
I
saw y'all. I pulled up to go to the golf tournament, and I was like, guys, you're okay? Like, you were just like slunched over, like trying to have a good. I mean, y'all did great, but it was just so funny. Y'all were like, I remember when y'all yelled at me across the parking lot. I was like, "Who was that?"
It's still rocking and rolling.
Yeah,
that was amazing.
Finish strong. It was so. I can't wait.
So
I'm so excited.
You asked about the documentary. I think we should, real quickly kind of go over the list of services that we're really diving into right now with Branded Film and Media, because we are a service provider and some people may or may not know exactly what we're doing. So we're working on clearing that up. Well, why don't we start with Marie? So kind of give a bird's eye view of the services that you and your team are able to provide.
We are doing social media management and management of ads, ad placements, drawing traffic to websites, event planning. If somebody has an event out there and they don't know how to get the word out, we can do that for them. But the main bread and butter is small businesses and towns and realtors. We represent them on Facebook. So just like a person, we put out posts 2 to 3 times a week, and we keep people engaged so people know what's going on with their businesses. So kind of create that relationship. Creating
a relationship and make sure business or consumers are seeing these businesses and getting to know them on Facebook. So what, that field of process of weeding out a company. If it's a concrete company, you're going to all right, well, let me see their Facebook page. Who's the owner? Is there even a picture of the owner on there or an employee or whatever? I love seeing, getting to know the team kind of situation and then their hobbies and what they're into, or their dogs, the funny things that they do,
kids.
Whatever it is. It makes you relate to them. And so you feel like you know them before you call them. And then you go through the process. Okay, let me Google their business. All right, do they have a website? All the processes. But I really do believe that more than likely catching them on Facebook, making sure they're a real person, genuine person, or just local, kind of weeding it out. You're doing a really good job about that. So that's kind of the process. It's unique to what we do. I think there's not a lot of other businesses, or I know there's not any other businesses that are focusing on the way we do it.
They haven't, not consistently. There's been some who've tried it, but it's hard. But with our team, we have a process now. And so we keep it consistent and keep it going. And then, we had the Facebook debacle where Facebook went down, Instagram went down. Who knows what's happening right now with all that?
On the back end stuff.
Yes. So traffic is down and across the board. And unfortunately, now if you want people to see your stuff, you have to spend a little money, which is
explain that a little bit.
It's hard to explain until you see their return. So I haven't had the guts, I guess. I'm not a salesperson. I don't like asking people for money. So to go to my client and say, can I have $1,000 extra to spend on ads? It gives me anxiety. It makes me sweat.
Right. But you've seen stuff that's proving that it's working.
Capri, she's on our team and she was already doing Jeremiah's and she's, just started throwing it out there. I'm going to test some things out. And, she did. She spent some ad money. But, he went from 1,800 likes, which we worked very hard for with, genuine content, to now he's at 8,000 likes, but
it's incredible.
They had to spend some money to get there, but he got some big jobs. So now it's, it's
paid for it.
It's more than
if you get a $10,000 job and you spent $1,000 spread out over 3 or 4 months and you got one $10,000 job, that's pennies on the dollar.
Absolutely.
Where it used to be really, really easy in the past 5 years to get engagement for way less money. But Facebook has figured out that they want money for exposure. And unfortunately, you got to pay to play in Facebook right now, where it used to be a whole lot cheaper. Now there's other platforms that are cheaper and you don't have to pay as much.
Right.
But who's going to be doing all those other platforms? Facebook is still probably the most ideal platform for some of these businesses.
It definitely
billions of daily users. Yeah.
When we were managing Trinity, the weekly exposure for Facebook was 28 to 36,000, and their exposure on Instagram was only 2,700.
Man,
so a lot of the younger people, they like Instagram, and but for the local businesses, Facebook is what is seen most. Now it's still important to have an Instagram.
Part of the validity that, hey, they're cool. They're on Instagram.
Yep. And to be on the stories and, so I strongly suggest that businesses do have Instagram. And then we're also going into TikTok. That's the latest. It's where you can have the most views. The algorithms, from what I hear, are the best. And so we're really going to start pushing TikToks.
And not just a stupid dancing video or anything like that. It can be anything.
Yeah.
I've seen everything from guys wrecking golf carts to, bass fishing or whatever. I mean, there's just, there's every avenue. And then there's guys building barns and it shows the process and it goes viral. Like, I mean, people are into it. Whatever they're into, they're really into it.
Yep. Yep. And I mean, you can use it to tell stories and to show what that company does. And, it's just, so we're going to start doing more of that for sure.
And that's an additional fee on top of the monthly fee that we provide.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that summarizes bird's eye view. I mean, there's
is that it?
I think that's, on the social media aspect of things for sure.
Yeah, there's obviously a lot more on the back end of what you're doing on all that stuff, but
our team is great.
Yeah.
Like Capri is doing so well, and it's just so, I can't say it enough. It's so nice to not be alone and to have y'all and this team, and so it's working out. And now we have growing structures, like what happens when we get 80 accounts. We have a process in place.
Love it. That's how you build a business. You're only, your goal of success shouldn't be just on, how much you make or whatever you're doing, but you should be living and dying by your systems and operations. If you fail on one of those, that's where your business is failing. Cause I didn't used to not think like that a lot. Because I'm not an integrator type mindset. I'm more the visionary, big picture, sell it. Hopefully it works on the back end. But we are, everybody's learning through this process that systems and operations are very important. And we're doing it. We're getting there. Cooper, tell them a little bit about the services that the media side or the film side takes care of.
So video production, we do anything from, we could even start doing some TikToks because Clark loves it so much. Maybe put him on some TikTok creations, but no, promos, commercials. We've stepped into now doing documentary, but we've got drone pilots. All three of us have drones. We've all got great cameras. We've all switched over to mirrorless, which is the latest and greatest technology and all that. But as far as our services go, I mean, whether you want something that will run almost like you see on a television ad, we're capable of. If you want a 15 to 30 second little promo spot, we're capable of doing that. We love to do video business cards. And what that means is it basically turns into a little mini documentary where we go and, we talk to the business owners or the people behind the business, and we ask them how, through storytelling, we get to know how the business was made and who was behind the founding of, some of our clients are second or third generation, owners because their parents or their grandparents started it up. So we like to go back and share that heritage. So we've got we've got a video business card that we do for a lot of our clients that basically is an in-depth look at how the company started, a look into the owners and some of the employees' lifestyles and what they do, whether it's their family, or what or their hobbies, what they like to do when they're not in the office or at the shop. So that's one of the fun things that we like to do. And I think that's why it's carried over into us doing a feature length documentary film, is because we've done a lot of these little mini docs. And then we decided to take on this big one, for the Wise County Reunion documentary. And
I love when you tell stories of events, like the National Night Out with
events.
The cops out here.
Yes.
No one's ever put that in a story. And,
Right.
The EDC and the police department, they partnered to get you to do that. But it was just so heartwarming to see that on film and to see the drone shot, to see Delvin talking about how important this is. So now people, they get to know him.
Absolutely.
And,
So community events, family events, business, corporation events. I mean, we're capable of doing all those things. We're capable of doing weddings. We don't do a lot of them. Just because of the workload, and I haven't had the help, but now that I've got two other guys on the video team helping me out, we're going to step into doing some weddings, and we've all got a couple of weddings under our belts. And I just went to Marfa recently, over this past weekend, and shot another wedding, which will be a great little video to kind of showcase what we're capable of as far as the wedding venues.
How was that workload on that one?
It's actually, it really, this one wasn't so bad. This was a piece of cake wedding. The couple were fantastic. It was just fun. And for me, it's the reason one of the big reasons I took this was because it was out in Marfa, Texas. And it was gorgeous out there, but it just so happened that I was working with a great couple that were super go with the flow, laid back. And like their ceremony was out, that West Texas landscape with the yuccas everywhere and the Texas mountains off in the distance. So I was in my element shooting this wedding video. And it was just super laid back, and the reception was great. Very kind of like West Texas rustic meets bohemian kind of. It was just a very cool vibe with a very cool couple and a great family, a great couple of families coming together. So that's just that excites me. I love going. I love traveling. It's how I got into video work. So. Yeah, and that's just another thing, though. We're stepping into doing, and we're opening up to the ideas of doing more weddings.
Yeah, and you may have just found your tagline, piece of cake.
I wanted to say something about that.
You did say that. I know.
As I was saying it, I was like, that makes sense. And I meant to say that for a reason. Pun intended, I guess.
But I'm so excited to see it, and I would love to see your team tell unique stories of couples and their wedding. Because to me, so many of the wedding videos look the same, but I know with your creative team,
take another spin on it. It's like tell a little bit different of a story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially with settings like Marfa and,
why this place instead of, something
instead
else.
Another setting or whatever, I know lots of folks get married in churches and whatnot, but whenever you get to go out to West Texas and Marfa out in the openness of West Texas, it's just it brings a whole nother level to it. So.
Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And we also have the podcast studio. The
stream of
Messenger is now doing theirs. They're about to release an episode where ghost hunters went to one of your listings.
Yes. Yeah, the Brown Hotel in Chico.
Paranormal investigators.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's
what did she say?
Ghost hunter.
Sorry. Yes.
I only say that because Michael had to go through that first himself. Yeah, he was corrected. He asked, are you guys the ghost hunters here for the podcast today? And they're like, no.
How dare you, Michael?
Yeah. And they're like, oh, you're in the wrong place. And he said, and they said, well, no, we're the paranormal investigators.
Investigators.
Paranormal.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's exciting, right? Like that's
I saw a little clip
stuff.
of it. And Michael was showing me a little clip of it, and they came across some stuff. I'll save it for the podcast. But the Wise County Messengers podcast, Michael, what's it called?
Making a Mess.
Making a Mess.
Yes.
Okay, so listen to it because you're going to hear about a story of a listing that I have for sale in Chico, Texas, called the Brown Hotel, and it's a historical marker. You go check it out, and I can't wait. Maybe give them a little bit more history. Michael, if you have any of it, I mean, did they say how old the building is and all the things that
they do? Yeah, they say because they did a lot of research themselves, and when the building was built, who built it? Cool. They come in contact with the colonel supposedly that was originally there. So there's some pretty cool stuff that happens.
Wow, and something that involves the piano.
Yes,
that's still
very
there.
Scary looking piano.
And I was there about a week before they did this, and I teeter between believe and it's all, I just go back and forth, constantly do. But I did kind of feel like, okay, I need to be respectful. Like I'm just going to walk around. I'm not going to touch anything. I'm going to respect everything. Thank you for letting me come in.
Thank you. Just keep saying thank you.
I'm nice. I have good intentions.
Yeah.
But that's exciting.
Cool.
But we, if anyone wants to do a podcast, you can rent it out. Michael is the producer. You just come in here like we did. We sat down, got the lights, tweaked them a little bit, but then started, and then you're done.
Here we are.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Another thing that that we do often, and is branding or branding consulting. I think that's something that would benefit a lot of businesses around here. Say if you have someone that's in-house, that does your social media for you, but you're just curious as to how to either build your brand or build more awareness. I think that with our collective experiences, I think that consulting is another thing that, it is another thing that we offer, but it's something that I'm passionate about. Like, I love sitting down, whether they become like our client, through social media management or video production or not, but to sit in with these companies, whether it's the CEOs, the CMOs, the CEOs, anybody, sitting down with these business owners and really exploring how to get creative in getting their word out there and getting their message out there and getting their brand out there. So brand consulting is another thing that we offer and we'd love to do. And I personally would love to sit in on anybody to help them out with that.
And we haven't launched it or put the wheels in motion, but we will. We are going to do this. The retreats where we would like to invite entrepreneurs or people thinking about starting their own business and teaching them how to market, how to brand, what steps that they need to go to. Do you need to be an LLC? Do you need to be a partnership? Do you
and have professionals to come speak on that?
Exactly. We're so well connected with so many people that are experts in their field and
already gone through it,
have gone through it and can speak on it. And, we're willing to bring those people on as a part of the branded experience for these branded retreats.
We could have Jen do the food at Canapella's Kitchen, and we could have some yoga, talk about, if you are going to start a business, you need to make sure you take care of yourself. Because if you don't, it will backfire. Just kind of a whole mix.
Stop speaking to me, Marie.
Just kidding. But I kind of like the idea. Sometimes. I like the idea of like you're kind of unplugging to go away on this retreat. But while you're on this retreat and you're relaxed, you're absorbing this new information that could take your business to the next level. Mm-hmm. So
I love it.
I've always been passionate and excited about that idea. And I'm hoping we can put something together this winter. We may find ourselves in the mountains hosting, a retreat this winter. Mm-hmm. So I would like to know. So if anyone's listening to this still at this point, if mention in the comments if it's something you would like. If a retreat, an entrepreneur retreat, a business owner retreat, hosted by Branded Film and Media. If that's something that you would attend, you would like to attend, whether it's local, whether it's in the mountains, let us know in the comments if that's something that you would think would be fun.
Love it. So get branded with Branded Film and Media.
Yeah.
Get branded.
Because I kind of forget, and I don't know, it's sometimes when we meet with people and they said, okay, well, tell us what we should do. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I get that. I get that so often.
For years, we've given away that information for free.
I've set up in Trinity Street Coffee Bar for years now, telling people how to get it going.
What's the hardest part for me with that though? And I'm calling out people that have received advice, and I'm calling myself out. I've received so much content. You have to implement it. Just having the conversation, talking about it doesn't do anything. Like if you see somebody that's doing something really awesome and it's a competitor in your business or whatever, replicate it. Mm-hmm. Just do it. You're not any different than them. They just are implementing. Go implement and execute. Get the job done. Because we'll give advice, but it comes down to implementing it.
Taking action, implement. Yep. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You nailed it.
I don't have any secrets.
No, you don't need to.
Isn't it Gary Vee or multiple people have said, share your expertise.
Mm-hmm.
And, if
provide value.
You're doing the job and you're doing it in a consistent way. So there's really no secrets in the industry. I'll tell anyone anything I do, but it's actually doing it. Like you said.
Implement it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I think that's all I got.
Yeah, that's all I have.
That's all I've got today.
Yeah. I'm getting ready for basketball season.
I know. I'm excited about that too.
It's my last one. So that'll be good. And your girls, they're busy.
Yes.
Soccer.
Soccer, basketball is about to start, and got to go to the little first grade girls draft for basketball tonight. Isn't that funny?
What?
Oh man, the draft. It's intense.
What round
Stakes are
do you
high.
think Rosie's going to?
I'm a little nervous. No, it's pretty easy when you only have two coaches, two teams. You know exactly who's, it's kind of I'll take that one, you take that one. That one, they ride together. Won't you ride? It's like
they carpool.
They're cousins, I'll take them. They're both, last names are Caraway, so that kind of stuff. But it's probably not the same when you get older. I've never done it, so I don't know. But first grade girls, let's just get a team together, So
the draft, that's cute. And Harper, she's doing well?
She's doing great. Yeah, she's killing it in school, and, she's excited for Halloween. Halloween's always been one of her favorite holidays. So,
really?
Yeah. She wants to be a sheet ghost this year. So her mom and I were super pumped about that because
Pretty
we've
easy to
gone
do.
all out.
Yeah, that's like a $10 costume.
Yep. So cut some eye holes and throw a sheet on her head, and Harper is good to go this year.
Nice. And is she grown? I mean, is she taller than you?
Oh my gosh, she's not taller than me yet, but man, she is close. The child has grown like
crazy.
a foot in the past 6 months, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All legs, that
fast.
one. Yeah.
Happens fast. Well, I'm happy we got it. Got
What
the
about
gang
your
back
boy? Hey,
together.
what about your boys? We talked about our children.
Oh,
so you got
well, I
Mac
just-
with basketball coming up.
And he's tall now.
Senior year, so tall. I shrink every day with all his friends over there, and I just feel like the smallest human walking around.
I even saw Coleman Dykes is tall again.
I know.
Or now. I'm like, dude, you were like half the head of your brother last year.
I know.
They all
I
grew like
know.
6 inches this
They're
summer.
all just so tall. Senior year, that's going great. I love the new principal. I cannot say enough good things. They
I
are
met
having
him
so much fun at the football games
yesterday.
and just great school spirit. So definitely ready for basketball. We just saw Gage last weekend. He is doing really well in school. They have a party house. I mean,
Pretty common.
people
I mean, yeah.
are in and out of that house. We were
I could see
there
that.
for a while, and it's close to campus. But I'm so happy for him and all his friends. He lives with Ethan Southern,
Yep.
Ryder Partridge, and just
fun.
and there's these new guys from El Paso and Midland, and it's a great.
College is about building relationships. You build some really cool, fun friends, and they sometimes become lifelong friends. I mean,
Yeah,
really,
mine are.
yeah. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Good for him. I'm excited for him.
Yeah. Yep.
All right,
All right. Well, we'll do this again in a week.
Bye.